Good evening. Welcome to Meetings with Our Community. Tonight we will be discussing President Barack Obama's weekly address on closing corporate tax loopholes, the conflict in Gaza and its effect on the Twitter community, as well as various events that happened last week in and around New York City, and some more for you to attend this summer. The president continued his call for our nation to rally around an economic patriotism that says rather than protecting wasteful tax loopholes for a few at the top, we should be investing in things like education and job training that grow the economy for everybody.
Hi, everybody. Our businesses have now added nearly 10 million new jobs over the past 52 months. The unemployment rate is at its lowest point since September 2008, the fastest one-year drop in nearly 30 years. 401ks are growing, fewer homes are underwater, and for the first time in more than a decade, business leaders around the world have declared that the world's #1 place to invest is not China, it's the United States of America, and our lead is growing. None of this is an accident. It's thanks to the resilience and resolve of the American people that our country has recovered faster and come farther than almost any other advanced nation on earth. But there's another trend that threatens to undermine the progress you've helped to make. Even as corporate profits are as high as ever, a small but growing group of big corporations are fleeing the country to get out of paying taxes. They're keeping most of their business inside the United States, but they're basically renouncing their citizenship and declaring that they're based someplace else just to avoid paying their fair share. Now, I want to be clear. There's only a few big corporations so far. The vast majority of American businesses pay their taxes right here in the United States. But when some companies cherry-pick their taxes, it damages the country's finances. It adds to the deficit. It makes it harder to invest in the things that will keep America strong. And it sticks you with the tab for what they stash offshore. Right now, a loophole in our tax laws makes this totally legal. And I think that's totally wrong. You don't get to pick which rules you play by or which tax rate you pay, and neither should these companies. The best way to level the playing field is through tax reform that lowers the corporate rate, closes wasteful loopholes, and simplifies the tax code for everybody. But stopping companies from renouncing their citizenship just to get out of paying their fair share of taxes is something that cannot wait. That's why, in my budget earlier this year, I proposed closing this unpatriotic tax loophole for good. Democrats in Congress have advanced proposals that would do the same thing. A couple of Republicans have indicated they want to address this too, and I hope more join us. Rather than double down on the top-down economics that let a fortunate few play by their own rules, let's embrace an economic patriotism that says we rise or fall together, as one nation and as one people. Let's reward the hard work of ordinary Americans who play by the rules. Together we can build up our middle class, hand down something better to our kids, and restore the American dream for all who work for it and study for it and strive for it. Thanks, and have a great weekend.
Mayor Bill de Blasio announced his new partnership to invest $350 million in affordable housing.
My administration has made increasing affordable housing a very high priority. The goal of making New York City a place that people can actually afford, a place that every kind of person can live in. This is essential to our vision. And it is essential to the larger notion of creating a more fair and just city. We know people all over the city are faced with the challenges of a cost of living that is so high in general. Well, the biggest piece of that, of course, is housing. And if we're going to create more opportunity and more fairness, we have to go right at the problem of affordable housing. In May, we announced the most ambitious affordable housing plan that any city in the country has ever undertaken, to build or preserve 200,000 units of affordable housing, enough to house 500,000 people. We intend to do that over the course of the next decade. And since that announcement, we've been hard at work achieving this goal. I want to thank the members of the administration I hope people realize the extraordinary work, the extraordinary effort they put in every day. I said to Alicia and Vicki and Gary that we were going to try and do something unprecedented, but something absolutely necessary for the present life of the city and even more importantly for the future of this city. It takes a certain bravery to take on roles that involve doing something that's never been done before. But these three public servants have lived up to that expectation, and I think in their own way they relish the challenge. So I want to thank our Deputy Mayor, Alicia Glenn, our HPD Commissioner, Vicki Bean, and our President of the Housing Development Corporation, Gary Rodney. And of course, want to thank our partners in this work, and we are particularly appreciative to our host today, the Highbridge Community Development Corporation, that's done extraordinary work in affordable housing. You can see right around you what they have achieved. And our colleagues in elective office who play a crucial role in all of our efforts, Comptroller Scott Stringer and Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz. You'll be hearing from both of them in just a few minutes. This initiative is so important because it leverages both public and private dollars. This is essential to the vision we have, maximizing investment of all kinds so we can achieve these extraordinary goals. Partnering with Comptroller Stringer and the Community Preservation Corporation and Citibank, we've been able to create a $350 million fund to finance thousands of affordable multi-family units. And this is a real collaboration. It takes real teamwork to do this, and the city's own Housing Development Corporation is playing a spark plug role in this effort by putting up an initial investment of $20 million. So everyone's playing a key role. Everyone is helping each other to maximize their involvement. CPC, a critically important community development financial institution, essential to this effort. And the private investment, of course, is deeply necessary for what we're doing here today and everything that we intend to do in our plan. I'm very, very appreciative that we have the involvement of Citibank in this effort. I want to express my personal appreciation to Citigroup CEO Michael Corbat for his personal involvement here today and for his commitment to New York City and for Citigroup's commitment to New York City. It's very, very important. Companies that are here invest in the future of this city and the people of the city. And Citigroup is doing that, and I want to thank them. Since 2006, Citibank has financed over $6 billion in affordable housing projects in New York alone. It's the fourth year in a row they are ranked as the nation's top affordable housing lender. I want to commend them for that, and I want to let them know they're going to have a lot more business with this administration. And they're serving as the lead lender and agent for this facility. They're contributing $75 million to the fund that we are announcing today. And I want to thank our other major funding partners, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, and Bank of America, and all the other banks that are participating in this initiative. Crucial as well is the involvement of the New York City retirement systems, our pension funds, and the city's Housing Development Corporation. So many, many players coming together in common cause here. This new initiative will allow CPC to provide $350 million for-profit and not-for-profit developers. So we'll be working hand in hand with my administration to strategically acquire, rehabilitate, and preserve multifamily housing. And a lot of this housing will be in neighborhoods that need it most and neighborhoods that have historically been underserved.
Celebrate Mexico Now, New York's only annual festival of contemporary Mexican arts and culture. Now is the time to support the next Celebrate Mexico Now.
Hola, mi nombre es Claudia Norman, directora y fundadora del Celebrate Mexico Now Festival, el único festival en la ciudad de Nueva York dedicado a presentar lo más innovador de la cultura contemporánea mexicana. Por más de 10 años y en más de 50 instituciones culturales, el festival ha sido la plataforma para mostrar lo más innovador en danza, música, teatro, cine, literatura, cocina y arquitectura mexicana. Esta importante labor es sin fines de lucro y para poder continuar comisionando artistas, presentando una campaña en inglés y en español y ofreciendo eventos gratis, necesitamos de tu ayuda. Hoy te invitamos a que te unas a nuestra campaña de recaudación de fondos y hagas tu donativo.
Es hora de apoyar al próximo México Now.
Es hora de apoyar el próximo Mexico Now Festival.
Now is the time to support the next Mexico Now. Hashtag Mexico Now Fest is next.
Es hora de apoyar el próximo Mexico Now.
Now is the time to support the next Mexico Now. Remember, hashtag Mexico Now Fest is next.
Now is the time to support the next Mexico Now.
Tu contribución es vital para el festival. Es hora de apoyar el próximo Mexico Now.
I'm Michael Strahan, and I love New York. There's no place like it in the world. My favorite thing is the excitement of the outdoors, like rock climbing in the Catskills, rafting in the Adirondacks, surfing on Long Island, or getting your heart racing at Watkins Glen International. Come discover your favorite part of New York. Plan your summer vacation at iloveny.com. There's something for everyone.
The hashtag Jews and Arabs refuse to be enemies quickly became popular on Twitter. The campaign was launched by Abraham Gutman and Dania Darwish, both students at Hunter College in New York, immediately after the start of Operation Protective Edge in Gaza. And this week, it gained momentum.
We decided just to post a picture, because it was a nice idea. We had no idea that it was going to become this huge. I'm half Lebanese. I grew up spending a lot of time in Lebanon. I speak Arabic. My boyfriend grew up Orthodox. He lived in Israel and has dual citizenship. What I've come to understand about that photo is that it's an image that people recognize right away and they identify with, love. This war isn't just about politics. It's about the people who are suffering from those politics. We wanted to emphasize the humanity and empathy. That's something that people really have a hard time with. It's not that difficult of a concept.
Jews and Arabs refuse to be enemies. It's Yehudim v'Aravim mesarvim liot oivim, which is a statement that became strong in peaceful circles in Israel. We wanted to use the same statement that the people on the ground chose to use, the same slogan that Jews and Arabs in Israel chose to put on their banner and to show solidarity in that and to internationalize, if that makes sense. And we really wanted to find a way to talk about solutions, to talk in a productive way. And it was so amazing to see people expose this, and it's so amazing to see people share this.
Because there is so much tension and sadness and sorrow in the Middle East right now, so it's nice to see. And if we could just change one person's mind to not quickly judge another person because of what they represent, if we could just change that one person, I feel like we've done our job. And to see so many people participate, that's completely overwhelming, and it's beautiful.
If it was up to me and Dania, I think we would stop the occupation tomorrow, solve the conflict.
Many New Yorkers don't have access to a vehicle, so schlepping an old TV or computer to be recycled isn't easy. That's why the Department of Sanitation partnered with Electronic Recyclers International to create eCycle NYC. This free and convenient electronics recycling program is for residential buildings over 10 units. Learn more at nyc.gov/ecycle.
Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival took the borough by storm earlier this month with a solid 3-day stretch of performances in one of the genre's historic breeding grounds. It featured performances from the likes of Raekwon, Talib Kweli, J. Cole, Brand Nubian, Africa Bambaataa, The Beatnuts, Buckshot, Mac Miller, and the list goes on. The highlight, however, came when Jay Electronica surprised fans by bringing out none other than Jay-Z.
You here with Bobby Schmurda, aka the Big Baller. You here now in tune with Baller Status. What up, baby?
Yo, it's Jay Electronica, legendary planetary. We here at the BK Hip Hop Festival holding it down. Peace to the gods and earths.
Festival with Buenos Aires. Shout out to the family. Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Fly!
Run this motherfucker. To my ladies, run this motherfucker. My dogs run this motherfucker.
Hey yo, what's good? What's good? AZ Brooklyn Festival is serious. Just got off the stage with the chef. Peace to Brooklyn. Y'all know how we do. Holla.
In the Brooklyn Bodega joint, it's all real. The chef just got through finished mashing. This is what I do. I get off the stage sweaty and make it history, you know?
Many New Yorkers don't have access to a vehicle. So schlepping an old TV or computer to be recycled isn't easy. That's why the Department of Sanitation partnered with Electronic Recyclers International to create eCycle NYC. This free and convenient electronics recycling program is for residential buildings over 10 units. Learn more at nyc.gov/ecycle.
Join the City Museum and El Museo del Barrio for Throwback, the second event in our summer series featuring music, gallery, talks, art workshops, breakdancing, summer drinks, and local food. At the City Museum, celebrate the golden era of 1980s hip-hop by dancing to classic tracks spun by DJ Grand Master Kaz and watching breakdancers show off their styles. At El Museo del Barrio, our artist Perla de Leon will describe her experience photographing the Bronx in the 1980s. DJ duo The Marquesina is back spinning throwback hits, and families can enjoy art making inspired by El Barrio. Admission is free, open to visitors of all ages. Advanced registration is required. Program also takes place on Wednesdays, August 6th and August 13th. Get an insider's perspective on City as Canvas, the first exhibition of graffiti art from the Martin Wong collection. The exhibition opened Tuesday, February 4th and will remain on view until Sunday, August 24th, 2014 at the Museum of the City of New York. #City as Canvas.
The Martin Wong collection was donated to the Museum of the City of New York in 1994. What we see in this collection is Martin's true and profound belief in the work of these artists, in the belief that what they were creating had value.
Martin Wong was one of the artists that was part of our group in the East Village in the early 80s, in the gallery scene, the alternative spaces down in the East Village.
When I started to kind of know him as an artist, and I got to know a lot about his own work, that's when, okay, I realized he's one of us.
He was very supportive of our culture, you know, to see it all happen and be where it is now, it's kind of unreal. I'd never thought it would come out like that, you know, like my work would be in a museum in Martin's collection. You know. If he didn't grab those books, no one would ever see them, and that would be a real loss.
Today we have some real perspective to look back on the 20-odd years of graffiti in New York City and when the work that's in this gallery was created with some perspective. We can see how in the intervening years the movement has really affected a broader culture.
It's great to see this in the light of day, in light of a museum environment in the city of New York. It's a great feeling of arrival.
Most of us have exhibited extensively in Europe and in Asia, but for the most part, you know, we've been perhaps marginalized in terms of whatever people perceive as being, you know, quote unquote high art.
I think the G word, the graffiti word, will always have that sort of effect on people. They'll just see the bad. But two new words, street art, it kind of expands your thought a bit.
This isn't something that is taught in school by an institution. This is just a lot of dedicated people applying themselves and doing the best that they can.
And that's what art movements need, because they always need a rejuvenation, you know, within.
I'm Ed Burns, and New York is my home. There's no place like it in the world. My favorite activity is fishing. We have the best trout fly fishing east of the Rockies, 5 of the country's top bass lakes, and one of the world's top 10 fishing destinations off Montauk. And now, with reduced freshwater license fees and no saltwater fees, New York's world-class fishing is even better. Find out more at iloveny.com.
Harlem Week promotes and celebrates what Harlem was, is, and will be. Harlem Week is a series of events throughout the summer that bring together all age groups and cultures to celebrate the unique and diverse essence that is Harlem. This celebration of Harlem offers over 100 events throughout the months of July and August, attracting approximately 2 million attendees from all over New York and the world every year.
Camouflage brown.
Pinky says,
Look at this cute chocolate mama with her fatigue.
with the military look.
Camouflage, that's right. Camouflage is back, baby.
Imagine going into battle with this.
Come on, fatigue. Hey, camouflage.
We'll win every time, right? Pinky Says Fashions. Fashions by Pinky Says.
you some pics? Our professional models here. Work it, girl. Not jelly shoes, but jelly boots. Remember jelly? Yeah.
There's the Chuck Norris sneakers.
Remember when you little girls used to wear bows in their hair? I like it. You this graffiti outfit, look at this. With the hammer time pants, hammer time, hammer time.
Fashions by Pinky Says.
It is a great day in Harlem. Look at that smile. Back to school. She's so confident, I bet she's an A student in school. Pinky Says, go to back to school shopping with Pinky Says.
Many New Yorkers don't have access to a vehicle, so schlepping an old TV or computer to be recycled isn't easy. That's why the Department of Sanitation partnered with Electronic Recyclers International to create eCycle NYC. This free and convenient electronics recycling program is for residential buildings over 10 units. Learn more at nyc.gov/ecycle.
Thank you for watching Meetings with Our Community. We hope that you have enjoyed our show, and we hope to see you next week.